Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai, the Shreshvari Mata Ki Jai. We'll go on with chapter 41 in book 9 of the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. Narayana said, O thrice-born, Indra then remembered Vishnu and took Brihaspati, the guru of the Devas, to the assembly of Brahma, accompanied by the other Devas. They soon reached the region of Brahma, and no sooner they saw him than Indra and the other Devas and Brihaspati all bowed down to him. Brihaspati, the Acharya of the Devas, then communicated all to Brahma. Hearing this, he smiled and spoke, addressing Indra. O Indra, you have been born in my race. Nay, you are my grandson. The Arya Brihaspati is your guru. You yourself are the ruler of the Devas, and you are every wise and sagacious. The mother of your father is the powerful Daksha, O great Vishnu Bhakta. How is it then that when the three sides of the family are pure, one turns out so haughty and arrogant? Whose mother is so much devoted to her husband, whose father and mother's brother are self-controlled and of pure sattvic guna, he is not expected to be so very haughty. Every man may be guilty to Vishnu for the three faults. For some fault due to that of the father, or his mother's father, or of the guru, the spiritual teacher. Bhagavan Narayana resides in this great holy temple of ours, this physical body, controlling the hearts of all. At whatever moment Sri Narayana quits his body, this temple body, at that moment this body becomes dead. I myself am the mind. Shiva is the knowledge. Vishnu is the vital breath. Bhagavati Durga is the intelligence, the buddhi, sleep, etc. The powers of Prakriti, when these are being reflected on by the Atman, Jiva is formed with a body for enjoyment called Bhoga Sarabat. When a king departs, his attendants also follow him. So when this Atman departs from this temple of body, his attendants, mind, buddhi, etc., instantly depart from this body and follow the Atman. O Indra, we are verily the parts of Vishnu. I myself, Shiva, Anantadeva, Vishnu, Dharma, Mahabharat, you all are his parts and entirely devoted to him, and you have shown contempt for his flowers. Bhagavan Shankara, the Lord of the Bhutas, Lord Shiva, worshipped the lotus feet of Sri Krishna with that flower. The Rishi Durvasa gave you that flower, but you showed disrespect to it. The flower Prajapati, after being offered at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, should be placed on the head of an immortal. His worship is to be done first, and it is the foremost amongst the Devas. So you are now being afflicted by the inevitable course of fate. Fate is the most powerful of all. Who can say that unlucky man against whom fate has turned? Seeing that you have rejected the flower offered to Sri Krishna, Sri Lakshmi Devi has left you out of anger. Now come with me and with your family priest Brihaspati to Vaikuntha and worship of the Lord of Lakshmi. Then by his grace you may get back your heavens. Thus saying, Brahma with Indra and all the other devas went to the eternal Purusha, Bhagavan Narayana, and saw that he was full of fire and energy like 100 Koti summer midday suns, yet perfectly cool and calm. He has no beginning and no end and no middle. He is infinite. The four-armed Parisadas, Saraswati, the four Vedas, and the Ganges all were surrounding him. Seeing him, Brahma and the other devas bowed down with devotion and began to chant hymns to him with tears in their eyes. Brahma then informed him of everything when all the devas, dispossessed of their places, began to weep before him. Narayana saw that the devas were very afraid and much distressed. They had no jewel ornaments as before, no vehicles, nor the Daivic splendor as before. Not that brilliance, they were always fearful. Then Narayana, the destroyer of fear, seeing the Devas in that state, addressed Brahma and other Devas. O Brahmas, O Devas, discard all fears. What fear can overcome you? I am here. I will give you again the immovable, prosperous Raja Lakshmi, the Lakshmi of the kings. But for the present, I give you some advice proper for this moment. Listen, there are endless universes where exist innumerable persons. All of them are under me, so know verily that I am under them also. My devotees regard me as the highest. They know no other than me. They are fearless, so I do not remain in that house where my devotees are dissatisfied. I instantly quit that house with Lakshmi. Durvasi Rishi is born in part of Shankara, Lord Shiva. He is highly devoted to me. He is a Paka Vaishnava. He cursed you, and as a matter of fact, I and Lakshmi instantly left your house. Lakshmi does not reside in that house where conch shells are not blown, where there are no tulsi trees, where there is no worship of Shiva and Shiva, where the Brahmanas are not fed. O Brahmana, she becomes greatly displeased. She instantly goes away out of that house. Lakshmi does not stay even for a moment in that house where the stupid persons without any devotion for me takes his food on the day of my anniversary. My name or his own daughter where the guests are not served. Lakshmi quits that house instantly and goes away. Being a Brahmin, if his heart is unholy, if he be cruel, envies others, and blames persons, Lakshmi Devi never stays in his house either. Lakshmi slips away from the Brahmanas who is devoid of rules of conduct, from him who remains uninitiated in his mantra or uninterested in his mantras. He who laughs always and always talks at random on disconnected subjects like a madman is forsaken at once by Lakshmi and becomes angry and goes away from his house. If any Brahmin forsakes observing vows, fastings, the various ceremonies, purity and devotion to Vishnu, Lakshmi does not remain in his house long. If anybody blames always the Brahmanas and shows his hatred always toward the Brahmanas, if he does injury to the animals, and if he does not indulge in the heart anything of pity, kindness, Lakshmi, the mother of the worlds, quits him. O lotus-born, but where Vishnu is worshipped and his name is chanted, Lakshmi, the mother of auspiciousness, remains there. Lakshmi remains where the glories of Sri Krishna and his bhaktis are sung. Lakshmi always remains there with the greatest gladness, where conch shells are blown, where there are conch shells, the salagrama stone, the tulsi leaves, and the service and meditation of Lakshmi are daily done. Where the Shiva Lingam is worshipped and Shiva's glories are sung, where Sri Durga is worshipped and her glories are sung, Lakshmi, the dweller in the lotus, remains there. Where the Brahmanas are honored and they are gladly feasted, where all the Devas are worshipped, the chaste Lakshmi, the lotus-faced, remains there. Thus saying to the Devas, the Lord of Lakshmi said, O Deva, go without any delay to the Shroda ocean. When Lakshmi will arise, give her to the Deva. O Devarsi, thus saying, the Lord of Kamala went to his inner compartment. On the other hand, the Devas, after a long time, reached the shores of the Shroda ocean. Devas and the Daitas then made the golden mountain, Sumeru, the churning rod, the Deva Kurma, the tortoise, the churning pot, and Ananta Deva, the thousand-headed serpent, the churning cord, and began to churn the ocean. While churning was going on, by and by arose Dhanvantari, Amrita, the nectar, the horse, Ucha Srava, various other invaluable jewels that were desired, the elephant, Aryabhata, and the beautiful-eyed Lakshmi, Sri Lakshmi Devi. No sooner she got up from the ocean, she, the chaste one, presented on the neck of Narayana, of beautiful appearance, the Lord of all, who slept on the Shrota ocean, the garland of beautiful flowers, indicative of accepting him for her bridegroom. Then Brahma and Maheshvara and the other devas gladly worshipped her and chanted hymns. At this time, Lakshmi Devi became pleased, cast a favorable glance toward the homes of the devas in order to free them from their curse. Then by the grace of Mahalakshmi and by the granting of the boons by Brahma, the devas got back their own possessions from the hands of the demons. O Narada, thus I have described to you the story of Lakshmi Devi, the essence of all essences, and very pleasant to hear. Now what more do you want to do? Here ends the 41st chapter of the 9th book on the churning of the ocean, on the appearing of Lakshmi, in the Mahapuranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Veda Vyasa. Bole Baba ki jai, jai Mahamaya ki jai, Bole Baba ki.